I know a lot of you guys are wondering how some of these Gangstalkers get paid, like how they kind of masquerade and hide in broad daylight, kind of in public. Actually, they actually hide pretty well online. I was unaware that what I was part of was a gang stalking community. So yes, they all get paid. This organization masked it with the spirituality. So they masked a lot of the directed energy weapons with spirituality and filtered pictures. So the biggest thing being that blinking sun, which is a complete scam. It's just a filter over your photo album. They filter a lot of your pictures, so they actually hack your entire camera roll. That's why it's kind of silly for anybody to partake in it. It's very obvious. Everybody has the same filter on their picture. That's kind of how you know you're from the same silly little gang or whatever. But basically, we get paid several ways. So they increase, like there would be times where I would work maybe like 4 days out of 2 weeks. I worked part-time. I had just had my baby as a nurse. And instead of like my check being, I don't know, $2,500 or whatever it's supposed to be, it would be like $7,000, $8,000. So they can just like change the numbers. It's like a digital hack. They change the number when it's going to enter into your bank account. And then obviously the hours do not add up when, especially if you have like when you work at the hospital, they keep track on like an actual paper log. So me working 4 days a week out of 2 weeks isn't going to add up to getting an $8,000 check. So like I said, obviously it doesn't add up, but I wish I had been taking pictures of everything then. I was taught in the spiritual community this was blessings from the gods. Really was a scam. So another thing that they do is they have casino scams. So like when you go to the casino, obviously they're following you either with a satellite or the droid or the drones, whatever. They can see through the walls. They're cyber hackers, so they know what machines are going to hit. So they use a voice to skull, which a lot of us are going to have to start calling it the microwave auditory hearing effect. That way your guys' doctors properly test you guys for it. In nursing school, I didn't learn about this sort of hearing effect. Not even in my master's program. So that's what it's called scientifically. It's called the microwave auditory hearing effect. And it's a directed sound with a pulsed microwave frequency. So basically they follow you and they can hit you with the sound and tell you what machine to play. They cyber hack. So, they know what machine is going to hit and stuff like that. What's up? No biting. Are you cray girl?
She didn't hurt me or nothing.
Awesome.
Do you want to go pet her?
No, I don't want to pet. I don't want to pet that doggy.
He's cute.
No, go play, baby.
Can I wear lipstick?
Okay, go play. So they can hack the computer systems and know like what machine is gonna hit in that community. He marketed it as finding a drug dealer that was a shaman, a Mexican shaman, and that he knew magic, spiritual magic, and how to like predict. He was so magical, he knew how to predict the machines, and he knew how to talk to the machines spiritually and say what machines were going to hit. It was a complete scam. So that's what they do. They cyber hack, and they are able to tell what machine is going to hit. Like I said, they can cyber hack into our bank accounts, stuff like that. And then they tell us, hey, go play that machine over there with the microwave auditory hearing effect. When you go to play poker, they can use those droids, the I don't know what type of I want to call it sonar frequency. I forget which type of laser beam they use that can see through walls, and they can see the cards, tell you who got what hand, what machine to sit, what table to sit down at. Obviously they're mathematicians. They use computers to kind of algorize whatever that word is, to say go sit at this table, these decks are going to hit, whatever. We get a lot of electrical shocks, so they can sit there when you go to play crabs or roll dice. I don't even gamble. That's the whole thing. They can shock those dice until they hit. And then we were to wear the stupid medallions and say, oh, the angels were following me today at the casino and I won. It was very dumb. So that's kind of how they mask it. And they say, did you win at the casino? Did the gods bless you? Those are your blessings from the gods. And then once again, they pretend to be the gods of reincarnations of these different angels and Egyptian deities and stuff like that. It's the most dumbest thing I've ever seen. And then another thing that they do, they also have like scratchers. You'll hear, and this is not just me. A lot of people from that community will say, money just dumped into my account. I won this, I won that. I bought a scratcher and it was a hit. So they tell us, go to this Circle K and buy that specific scratcher. And that's supposed to be blessings from they're supposed to be like these celestial wealth beings. And then when you win, you're to take pictures with the medallions, their other stupid spiritual stuff, their books, and then market it on the internet, market it on your Instagram, your YouTube account. So if you see anybody strobing that sun, saying a miracle is being performed, I've seen quite a few spiritual masters now using that. I think it's the Pegasus software. It's very pathetic. And then they strobe our phones, they strobe our computers, they strobe the lights in our house. So we're supposed to be recording. Supposedly that's like a heavenly sign. You'll see a lot of people strobing lights in their house. And then also you'll see people strobing the sun, and that's supposedly like an encounter from the gods. It's all filtered. Your phones are completely hacked. Our photo albums are completely hacked, but they mask it as spirituality. And basically, they also can use it to pay us. So that's how we get paid. And then, oh, there's a pretty little yellow butterfly. And that's how a lot of these Gangstalkers get paid. And then there's Bitcoin scams, where the same way they strobe the sun and stuff like that, and those filters and the pictures that I posted, they could tell us what call out plays to make. So they can use the microwave auditory hearing effect to tell us what plays to make. And then also, they can strobe things at us when we're logged on to, I'll just say Robinhood, right? And then they'll be like, play this one, play this one, play this one. And they'll kind of like blink it at us and strobe it at us. One way that we actually get to watch this live stream is they hack our computer, and then they kind of like blink different links and URL codes and stuff like that when you get on the dark web. So we know, that's how we kind of know where to go to watch people be live streamed and tortured with this stuff. I never did. I've never been on the dark web, but that's what a lot of the Gangstalkers in that community do. And then it kind of like logs them on to, I want to say, a satellite. So then they're kind of able to stalk you and watch you and see where you go and stuff like that. And it's really pathetic. And then the gang stalking. So when this stuff happens, then like they don't just follow you. Like they can follow whoever some of your close girlfriends or whatever like that. You'll hear a lot of us say we lose everything because they jeopardize our jobs. So they do the gang stalking at the jobs, which is really, people don't know that they're already getting like the sound beamed at their head, so they can kind of harass you or whatever. They do it to your friends so they can make your friends like go against you, and then to your family, you know. And if somebody's not very spiritually awoken, or, you know, an observer of their thoughts, or kind of like in control of their own mind, kind of thinks outside of the box, then they can actually, you know, fall victim to some of that, you know, like this technology. I'm like, this isn't that far off the walls. You hear all these celebrities now are kind of starting to talk about it, but you know, when things become more mainstream, then it's like, oh yeah, gang stalking, targeted individuals, directed energy weapons, stuff like that, then it's okay. But this is kind of what happened. I was supposed to be the president of this organization. It was complete trash. I was disgusted. They do nothing but human traffic with it, assault you to your reproductive organs. And basically that, and then they mask it as Tantra. So I was supposed to be this tantrika, an energy worker using their product, but that was a bunch of baloney. It's all directed energy weapon. A lot of that stuff, a lot of those guys are scamming with the Tantra and these directed energy weapons. And abusing people with it is quite horrific. And then another thing that I'm completely against is drugs. So they can use this to help move drugs, and I didn't want to be a part of that. They can, like, you know, the way that they can clog our noses or like turn our senses off, so they can sensualize us or whatever, turn senses like super high. They can also like do to the animals. They killed my dog. I've talked to a lot of other people, their dogs have been seized as well. But and this is all because I wouldn't curtsy and do what they were trying to tell me to do. I'm completely disgusted by those old creeps and their cone head and their stupid medallions and strobing suns. Basically they can, like, when a dog's gonna go sniff out a bag of drugs, we can stop its nose from being able to smell and get it moved across. You can you can do just a bunch of silly things. Like, I just think of all the things you could do if you can, like, turn off somebody's senses. You can alter cameras so that fentanyl and stuff like that can get moved through the mail system. Stuff like that with these directed energy weapons. And the way it goes undercover is they use a microwave hearing effect, so we don't ever really talk. We just they disguise it as telepathy. That's a big joke. They're using the V2K, the voice to skull technology. Which honestly, like I said, you can make this voice to skull technology with parabolic speakers and stuff like that from your house. So it's not even like something that's like, whoo, oh my God. No, it's actually something that you can do yourself. And then they borrow this equipment. So you'll see a lot of people, like I said, strobing. That this is how you know it's them. The strobing of like their phones, the strobing of the houses, the lights in their houses. That's hacked. It's filtered. Sometimes our house stuff, our electrical appliances, they're all electrical appliances, are strobing. But sometimes it's just a stupid filter. And then the sun is the biggest giveaway. I know there's a couple masters in Africa doing the stupid thing like, here's a miracle. They always market it as a miracle. Here's a miracle, and then they show that silly blinking sun. Another scam that they have is they make it look like people are super duper smart. They're not. They have this they have the directed energy weapon, and they use what I believe is fiber optic firing or whatever like that. Like they can cause one of our eyes to see like super clear far away, like 20/20 vision miles away. It's insane. This technology is insane. They can create a super soldier. But anyways, they can also download like answers. They can tell you with the V2K, hey, there's the answer to that question when you're taking a test, stuff like that. So that's a scam. They're like, we're being told the answers. So even the leader of that community is a complete hoax. So those are just some ways that we get paid. And then that's just kind of some ways that they scam with the silly technology. It's quite pathetic. And anybody that is marketing any of those things, I don't want to speak so ill of them, but a lot of them do the ghostwrite for that company because they are threatened. Like me, they can make us homeless, lose our jobs. They're forced. We all know it's a stupid, ugly filter. It's actually quite pathetic. This couple is very old. I don't know why they thought this was going to last. I'm like, do you know how silly they're going to look in like 5 years strobing that sun? And then you're going to have these little 5-year-olds say, that's a filter laughing at you. As far as the electronic assaults that we get, you guys, I am going to ask to go home with an actual brain cap and like EMG probes to put on my body so that the currents can be picked up, and then probably have like some sort of exterior like electromagnetic field device showing a rise, or signal detector showing a rise in like the different signals. That way it's transmitting to my doctor's office, and then I can be recording and be like, now do you see there was like an actual signal that came and did that? So we need some, I know a lot of you guys don't want to, but you may actually have to get like some subcutaneous device that goes either on your brain, on your lower back, or something like that, that measures your voltage, your internal voltage and stuff like that. It's not going to be that hard to capture this assault. It's just going to be a matter of you guys using like the correct medical terminology, not being so stuck on like the technology and the nanobot technology and whatever. We know it's here. It's just measuring the voltage in your body and getting the proper testing, and then probably having like just something that's going to transmit back to your doctor's office. My neurologist is pretty sweet. And then because I didn't even know what a directed energy weapon was, so you guys can't blame your doctors and stuff like that for not knowing what it is. But then, you know, just showing the signal analyzer and being, now do you see when I got that shock, or when I got that forced response or stimulation that we all hate, there was a rise in the signal right here showing that it was somebody, you know, shot something at you. So those are just some ways that we can move forward, and those are some ways that the Gangstalkers get paid. We also win things. A lot of people in that community win like government grants. They win why can't I think of the word? There's day trading. They scam in day trading with the cyber hacking, and then they also win government contracts. That's another one. We win so much stuff. It doesn't really even matter. What matters is that we get paid. And I've seen a lot of targets say, where's this money coming from and stuff like that. And basically what they're doing is they're live streaming us to the dark web, and then they're just using this type of microwave auditory hearing effect, which I had to learn about. There's not one nurse practitioner I know that ever had to learn about that in school. To tell us what to do, and they want us to perform different things in front of them while these two old perps watch. They claim to be reincarnations of Mott and Toth. It's really pathetic, but yet they're using someone who claims to be one of the smartest pyramid builders on the earth is using a filter, a sun blinking filter. You guys put two and two together. There's no smart reincarnation of the god Toth that's built miraculous things that have lasted this entire time through floods, great floods, and all types of like storms, and God only knows what. Our skyscrapers would completely ponder and be buried, if there was like a great flood and stuff like that, but those pyramids would still stand. Now you tell me why he would be using a filter and saying that that's a miracle and a sign from God and a sign that your consciousness is elevated. That's a complete joke. So that just begs you to start thinking about why all of those people are still posting that blinking sun. Awesome. Time. Mommy has time too.
I have a time.
Time is an illusion, sweet girl.
What's time?
Your watch says it's 9:10. It's not 9:10. Basically why is because they're being forced. And hold on, baby, hold on. Is because they're being forced. And also they use that V2K. I've had a couple of girls from outside the country say that they're using the V2K to force them to marry certain people. They're trying to force me to marry that disgusting old man and his ugly old wife. There's been several people trying to get out of that cult that have messaged me. I'm like, we can't get out. And then they're like, they turn that sound up loud in our head, and then they can't message me ever again because they're getting shocked so bad. So basically that's how they keep it all under wraps. And that's how a lot of Gangstalkers get paid. They also are connected with the microwave auditory hearing, so it's not like they're immune from it. And this cult is not anybody special. They're not leaders of the Illuminati. They're not anybody. They're borrowing the material and borrowing the technology to pretend. They pretend to be rappers and stuff. These people are 60 plus years old. It's really pathetic. And then the disgusting old wife comes in to tell you to clean, what to wear for her ugly old husband while they watch. The whole thing is really, really, really disturbing. I'm glad that I spoke out against it. I'm glad I'm never going to do it. I targeted all of you guys doing that stuff. Should target. You guys need to be taught the difference between technology, spirituality, and like the real thing. It's a bunch of garbage. They're stalkers, they're sadists. They're actually the devil himself or herself, whatever. I don't know, but they're sadists. And it's just complete trash. And those stupid chipped spiritual tools, stupid chip medallions, all of that stuff is like signs that we're all from the same gang stalking community, and we're all getting paid. Obviously I'm not anymore, but basically they pay us to be there. They do like BDSM with it, so they're like paying us to want to engage in this electronic assault, which is quite disgusting and disturbing. But I do believe if you guys go home with the right brain caps and the right EMGs that report back to the doctor, doesn't need to be the one with the needle in it. This will actually be pretty easy to pick up, detect, and get documented in your medical chart. If they can't diagnose you with Havana syndrome, they may be able to say what appears to be a directed energy weapon or a directed electricity, which will be enough for you to kind of start pressing charges in court. And then to also get the microwave auditory hearing effect documented in your guys' charts, you need to speak to a specific doctor for that, a specific ENT. And because that's highly illegal. So once it's detected that you're actually being transmitted sound, that's something that you can move forward to press charges like on pretty easy. Well, I can't say pretty easy. Like, you're going to obviously have to run through tests, possibly hire a private investigator. But if you get it documented that you are actually getting this sound transmitted to you, then that is illegal. So it's electronic harassment. I looked it up. So there's some ways to move forward and get them placed in prison, and other people who are doing this to you. Or some of you guys don't know who's targeting you. I happen to know who's targeting me. But yeah. So just a quick little scam run through for you guys.